I think I'll go down this way here today. It's a while since we walked along here. Good morning, people. Happy Sunday to everybody. First day of the week. Here we see more water coming in. This spot never stops giving water. Somebody left their boots here. I find it strange that somebody can leave a boot like that. Who knows how that happened? Looks like a relatively new boot. Vegetation growing back here because the water isn't there. So we have amazing readings this morning. We have the fishermen at the side of the lake. They're probably not very happy campers. They haven't caught anything. And they're washing their nets. Connect. But we're back again in business. I have to get into the habit of turning off the Wi-Fi again. For a while there I was only using Wi-Fi and staying very close to the house. But now we have a better line, a better phone line, so it's easier to move. So Isaiah is having an amazing vision of heaven, of heavenly liturgy. Maybe we'll talk more about that at the Mass in a little bit, in less than 2 hours, God willing. But both of them have the same kind of experience. Both of them have a divine experience. They experience God's power, God's glory. And in that sense also they experience their own limitedness, their own dependence on God. And that's very interesting because one of the things we like to do as we grow and as we, well, maybe we have that since instinctually since we're little children. We want our own will done. Why do children scream and kick and they don't want mom to put on those clothes, or they don't want to wash and have a bath, or they don't want to eat that thing now? And we're very willful. And then when we develop certain abilities, they can be small things, about even just handling our own schedule, or they can be big things about how we organize business or politics. We can really want to control everything. We want to control the outcomes. And there are certain things over which we have dominion. Basically, we also have lost a lot of dominion. People think that by being self-willed and doing our own thing and not God's will, that we have more control. And actually we're offered control. It's interesting when you think about it. We're offered control because ask what you will and you will receive it, but ask it in faith. And in faith means then seeing that God is in control. God is in heaven above and He's here among us. And he is the one who created everything. So our faith is not something that is make-believe. And it's not just a feeling. And it's not just the sense that there's something out there. The biblical faith we've been taught a biblical faith, we've been trained in a biblical faith, we've been formed in a biblical faith that is historical, that happens in time. Now, Isaiah's vision this morning would be maybe an exception there in the sense that it's a vision into eternity, into the eternal glory, the heavenly liturgy. And our experience is more here. It's like very much in time. And that was Peter's experience. There was one day when they were fishing. And they were actually washing their nets. That's why they were going home. And they were going home with empty hands. Maybe they just, for some people it might be like closing business. Well, maybe not for good. But they were fed up, they were tired. The time was done to be fishing. And they were coming home empty-handed, and they were washing the nets. And even in that situation, they're also in control because they made a decision to go home. They made a decision to wash the nets. They made a decision to call it a day or to call it a night because they were fishing at night time and to go home. And suddenly there's this guy who's not a fisherman on the shore, and he's saying, cast your nets into the water. Go out, first of all, go out into the deep. And that's a wonderful expression. That's the name, actually, of Duc In Altum, of our big building over there for prayer. Duc In Altum, with the boat altar. And it's precisely because of that. I should have gone over there for the live stream. Maybe I just start walking back, and we can do that. And that'll probably be enough time to have the whole bit. And that would be very smart, actually, because I should have thought about that. But, you know, when you wake up, and I had a great sleep, thanks be to God. And I didn't think about that I should have just simply gone to Duc In Altum, because that's a very big gospel today in Duc In Altum, with that boat altar. Let's go back there. So, it's very interesting to see the challenge for us to let go and let God, famous expression, right? Another place where we can say we're in control is we messed up and we take responsibility, so we quit from God's things. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy because, like Isaiah said, I have sinful lips and I live among a sinful people. Like, why are you getting me into this stuff? I'm not the right person. Because we give judgments about ourselves that really are only for God to give. And God doesn't say you're not sinful either, but he sends over an angel with this burning coal from the fire for Isaiah to purify him. And Peter falls before him and he says, go away from me, for I am a sinful man. And so that way, leave me alone. I'm not cut out to do what you want me to do, Lord. I'm not cut out to be an agent of your glory, an agent of the mission of the church, an agent of reconciliation for people. I just can't do it. I'm imperfect. Well, that's a very good confession. So I didn't make myself. I didn't provide for my life up to now. I can't dig myself out of my guilt. But the Lord can, because the Lord made me. The Lord brought me to this point, and he's waiting for me forever. And this is living by faith. And this is what Paul talks about in the second reading. Living by faith. And then the missionary that's out there, the person, the Christian, the baptized person, the believer in God person that's out there wants to tell a story. It's not that they can spin their own story. I hand on what I received. And you know what that's called? In Latin, the word is tradere. I hand on what was handed to me. And the word for that is tradere. And the participle, the past participle is traditio. That's the thing that's handed on to me that I hand on to you, because I don't invent the faith. I don't invent the story of one God. I don't invent the story of the Trinity. I don't invent the story of creation. It's handed to me. I receive it. And I in turn hand it on to the little children. I hand it on to my siblings. I hand it on to my spouse. I hand on what I have received. And so we have a marvelous rundown of how our whole life needs to be like shaken up. Because we do our own thing. We want to control everything. We want to pass judgment on ourselves. We want to pass judgment on others. And God is a redeeming God. God has a different way about doing things. God is amazing. I just found a lock here. I'm going to put it up here someplace, but it's kind of a while since it was lost. Once I lost keys over here, and once somebody found them and they knew I had lost them. It was actually one of the mornings I was doing live stream a few years ago. Imagine it's almost 5 years since we did live stream. We have covered all the months of the 5 years. I leave it up here because maybe, or here maybe, and the people can see it if they recognize it and remember. And I walked these shores to find the keys and I couldn't find them. But then somebody did spot them. We really have done enough, but since I promised you to come back to Duc In Altum and to show you the boat, we won't go inside, we'll do that on Instagram. So here we're coming over to Duc In Altum with the boat altar. Oh, that's one of the ducks there. No, the Egyptian geese flying there. And that unusual noise or sound. In the sight of the angels, I will sing your praises, Lord. That's our promise. That's God's promise to us. That's our calling. Again, something that we receive in faith. In the sight of the angels, I will sing your praises, Lord. And here we have the boat. You know it very well from inside, most of you. And I'll do one now from inside for Instagram, at least get started. And I'll start at the beginning of the outside so we can see the whole building. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Come on here. There we go. Duc In Altum, go out into the deep of faith. It's a great place to be. In the deep of faith. We're kind of out of control when we're out there in the deep. It's like to have our feet on the ground. But that's where we're called. Called to go out into the deep. God bless you. See you later, alligator.